सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः।
प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां मुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दुग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्ससुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। हरि ओम।
Okay, Hari Om everybody, and it is so wonderful to be here with all of you this evening. Chinmaya Mission Guyana has taken a sankalpa, or resolution, to complete the entire Bhagavad Gita, 700 verses, over 108 nights at 108 different mandirs across Guyana. And we have been going all the way from Crabwood Creek, and now we're coming all the way to Pomeroon here in Essequibo. And it has been so wonderful meeting so many different people and getting to study Bhagavad Gita together over all of these nights. Now we are on night number 71 of 108. So that is, I think, like almost two-thirds into this 108 nights. And where we are in the Bhagavad Gita is we have reached chapter 12. Well, today we will be starting chapter 12 of 18. So we're getting to just about two-thirds through Bhagavad Gita as well. Chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita is called Bhakti Yoga. And everybody here will be familiar with the word Bhakti, correct? Everybody knows the word Bhakti. But what is Bhakti Yoga? That is what is going to be told in this chapter. It is an extremely short chapter. It is the shortest chapter of the whole Bhagavad Gita. Only 20 verses, And all of those 20 verses are short verses. So it is a very short, very sweet chapter, but it has very deep messages about bhakti. So what exactly, if someone came here and they didn't know what the word bhakti meant? Well, the simplest translation for bhakti would be love. Love for who? Love for Bhagavan. That is the simplest translation we can give for what is bhakti. What is bhakti yoga? Bhakti yoga means that which unites. So when we practice bhakti in such a way that it unites us with our limitless self, that it unites us with our infinite happiness, that it unites us with Paramatma, that is called bhakti yoga. So to engage in love for Bhagavan in such a way that all of our sorrows are removed, all of our ignorance is removed, all of the bondage that we feel in our life is removed, that will be called bhakti yoga. And that is what this chapter that Bhagavan Sri Krishna is going to start is about. Now you may say, but I have bhakti. I come to mandir regularly, and I do puja often, and so many different ways we express our bhakti. We sing and we build mandirs. I heard this mandir was built in such an inspiring way also. So we express our bhakti in so many different ways. And yet, I don't feel like all my sorrow is gone. I don't feel limitless. I don't feel like I don't have any problems. So what is it about my bhakti that is not allowing it to give the wonderful result that it could give? That is one of the questions that is thought about here. Bhagavan Sri Krishna is going to answer questions like, what exactly is this bhakti? Who exactly is a bhakta? The person who has bhakti. Then what exactly is the altar of bhakti? Means who is this Bhagavan that we have bhakti for? Then how to practice bhakti? What are obstacles that may come as we're trying to practice our bhakti? And finally, what does the life of someone who is a great bhakta look like? These are all the kinds of questions that will be answered in this short chapter. Now in this chapter you will see Bhagavan Sri Krishna does not talk about how to do puja, meaning the 16 steps or 5 steps or however many steps of puja. He doesn't talk about how to do havan, how to do kirtan, how to do havan, none of those things, right? He approaches it from the point of view of the attitude that we have in our devotion. So let us see a little bit about where chapter 12 fits in this Bhagavad Gita, where we've reached 2/3 into the book, into the Gita. In chapter 1 starts with Arjuna, who is the protagonist of this Bhagavad Gita, giving his own lecture to Bhagavan Sri Krishna. He starts by telling Bhagavan Sri Krishna why he should not fight against the Kauravas. And his reason is, well, they're my family, they're my gurus, how can I fight with them? And Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, look, that is no reason to not fight. You have to get up and you have to do your duty. But Arjuna is not ready to get up and do his duty. So now Bhagavan Sri Krishna has to do something to make this Arjuna stand up and do his duty. And him doing his duty is essential for the protection of Sanatana Dharma. And so now Bhagavan Sri Krishna has to do something. What he does, now see, he doesn't touch him. They're on the battlefield. The conches have been blown. The war is just about to begin. And now Arjuna is like, oh, actually, Bhagavan, I changed my mind. I can't fight. And everyone is depending on him to win this war. Now, every minute counts because the war is about to begin. Everyone's going to start shooting arrows at each other and big fight is going to happen. Bhagavan Sri Krishna, in the middle of this, has to do something. He doesn't touch Arjuna. He doesn't say, okay, I'm going to ask somebody to do a puja for you and your problem will go and then you'll be ready to fight. He doesn't do any of that. What he does is he starts to teach Arjuna. That means that our problem of sorrow, our problem of lack of clarity of what to do, our problem of not being able to get up and face our duty is not going to go by someone touching us or wishing anything for us. It is going to go by understanding. So even in this crucial moment, understanding is what was required. So Bhagavan Shri Krishna stopped everything and he started to give Arjuna knowledge. This chapter starts with a question from Arjuna about bhakti. Because just prior to this chapter, we saw Vishvarupa Darshan. Bhagavan Shri Krishna had shown Arjuna how this whole universe is his form. And Arjuna is now moved with reverence and love. And he wants to find out more about how to have love for this Bhagavan that he now sees as this entire universe, that he here until now thought it was his friend. So he's asking Bhagavan how to have bhakti for him. So let us see how he tries to understand bhakti. A very beautiful question, one that many people have. If you haven't had it so far, at some point in your life you may have this question. So let us see the question and then we'll continue. Now, I will chant Hare Krishna, and then you will repeat. Right? That's how it'll go, and then I'll chant the verse and we'll go like that. Now please, I want to be able to hear you all, because when everybody sings together, the power that is there in the environment is so much more than if just I'm singing, isn't it? Okay, so, ready?
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Evam satatayuktaye Bhaktastvām paryupasate
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Ye chapyaksharamavyatam Tesham ki yogavittamaha
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
बोलिए श्री कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय. Evam satatayuktaye bhaktastvām paryupasate. But Arjuna is asking, Bhagavan, there are those types of bhaktas, those types of devotees who worship you in one way, with form. Meaning they see Bhagavan as this entire universe, or they see Bhagavan as their favorite form of the Lord. You know, some people like Bhagavan Shri Krishna, some people like Bhagavan Ram, some people like Devi Ma, some people like Lord Vishnu. Everyone here will have their own favorite form of Bhagavan. Then even amongst people who love Bhagavan Shri Krishna, some will like Bala Krishna, the little Krishna who's stealing butter. Some will like the little Krishna who's eating laddu. Some will like the little Krishna who's playing bansuri. Some will like Bhagavan Shri Krishna who's playing dancing with the gopis. Right? Others will like Bhagavan Shri Krishna as Gita Charya, the one who's giving Bhagavad Gita. So even Bhagavan Shri Krishna himself will have so many forms, and everyone will have their own favorite form of Bhagavan. Then there will be people who express their love by singing for Bhagavan, by doing puja for Bhagavan, by building mandir for Bhagavan. So many different ways people will express their devotion, but all of it is connected to the fact that they're able, when they think of Bhagavan, they think of Bhagavan with a form, so they can visualize. He has, a smiling face, he has long curly hair, he has a flute tucked in his side, he's wearing yellow dhoti, like that. They can visualize these different forms of the Lord. And people go on trying to paint a picture of the form of the Lord in their mind. I don't know why this came in my mind, but let me tell you. One day, there was a teenager who had just come of age to get a license. And so he said to his parents that when he gets his license, he wants a car. Please get me a car. I'm tired of taking the bus and going everywhere. I want a car. So his parents said, okay, we will get you a car under a few conditions. First, you start to sleep at normal hours. No more sleeping tomorrow. You know how teenagers sleep tomorrow? Means after 12 o'clock before they think about sleeping. No more sleeping tomorrow, sleeping at a normal human hour. Then, you have to start doing chores. You're a big man now and you can't even wash your own plate and clean your own room, and you have to do chores in the house. You have to make sure your room is always clean. You have to go and bring good grades from school. And you have to cut your hair. So 5 conditions, right? So he wanted a car really badly. He said, okay. So after 2 months he came and he said, well, I started to do my chores. I started to sleep on time. My room is clean. I'm getting good grades. I want my car. His parents said, but you didn't cut your hair yet? Long curly hair you still have? Wow, go and cut your hair. He said, no. You know what? My Bhagavan Shri Krishna and Rama also have long curly hair. So why are you making me cut my hair? Good logic or not? Here their parents' response, his parents' response. It is because of that they walked. They're not getting a car because of their hair. Anyways, that came in my mind because of that curly hair. Bhagavan will have a form, and we express our love for Bhagavan with that form. So there is that one set of devotees. They're called in Sanskrit as Saguna Bhaktas. Right? Saguna Bhaktas. Then there are other devotees, Ye cha api aksharam avyaktam. Then there are those who worship you without form. You would have heard Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. I am of the nature of consciousness. I am of the nature of auspiciousness. What form does that have? You can paint a picture of that. There's no form. So there are some people who sit and meditate on the formless aspect of Bhagavan. Right? So there are those who think of Bhagavan with form, saguna. Then there are those who think of Bhagavan without form, nirguna. Now Arjuna is saying, Tesham ke yoga vittamaha. Among these two, who is the best established in yoga? Meaning, who becomes one with you? Who comes to you? Those who think of Bhagavan with form, or those who think of Bhagavan without form? Now, Arjuna would have heard also all through these chapters, sometimes Bhagavan is talking about himself with form, sometimes he's talking about himself as Ajoyam Nitya Shashvato Yam Purana. All different ways he's talking about himself, right? So Arjuna's question is valid. Bhagavan, you keep describing yourself in both ways. Which one should I choose? Well, there are a couple of things with this question. First of all, the question is not about which form of Bhagavan is better, but the question is which form of worship of Bhagavan is better. There's a difference between those two, right? He's not asking which form of yours is better, he's asking which form of worshipping you is better. The person who worships you with form or the person who worships you without form? Which is the better form of bhakti? The first thing. Second thing, actually the question itself is wrong. Arjuna's question is wrong. We have wrong questions in the world all the time. See, I'll give you an example of a wrong question. Someone goes in front of a judge and the lawyer comes and asks, have you stopped beating your neighbor's children? And you can only answer yes or no. Now, if you say yes, that means that you were beating the children. And if you say no, it means you are still beating them. So is there a yes or no answer to that question? If you never beat your neighbor's children, then that is a wrong question. So, here also the question is wrong. It is like asking, for a child who sees their mother going to work, their parents, leave mother, both parents going to work, and then both parents coming home. And they see the parents at home are the ones who give them their books to go to school, they're the ones who give them food to eat, they're the ones who bathe them and take care of them and give them everything they want and all of that, right? Then there's the other side of their parent who goes to work and they don't have time for them when they're at work. Because when I come home, my mom and dad are at work. Right? So now, which form of praise, the child will say, oh, you know, mommy who stays at home is better than mommy who goes to work. They don't understand that it is because mom and dad are going to work and getting money from there that they're able to give them all the things that they have over here. So you cannot compare and say, no, I like this mom and dad and I will praise only the mom and dad at home, and no, praising mom and dad at work is not nice. That is what Arjuna's question is actually tantamount to, right? The point is both forms of worship have a place and they're both important. But the problem is how we think. Have you heard people go and asking kids, who you like more, mommy or daddy? Who you like more, big sister or small brother? Whole day we're asking which one you like better, right? This is how the human being thinks. In fact, if you go and you ask ChatGPT this question, which is better, worshipping God with form or worshipping God without form? I'm sure ChatGPT will have an answer for you. But it will be different than Bhagavan Shri Krishna's answer, right? When we ask a question like, which one is better? It shows that we think that there will be a better one. That's how we live our life, isn't it? Well, I want to go and buy something at the store, and there are two options. Then I pull out my phone to Google which one is better. Right? That's how we live our lives. Which one is better, like that, right? But just now in chapter 11, we had seen how every single thing in this universe is made of the pairs of opposites, complementary pairs. There will be positive and there will be negative in every single thing in this universe. So there cannot be an absolute answer that says one is good and one is not bad, one is less good. It means one is better and one is less better. Because they will both have a place from a different perspective. You take one of like the worst things you can imagine, like cyanide. Cyanide is like one of the most toxic things known to human beings, correct or wrong? Anyone who takes cyanide, that's it. Right? So now you say, Bhagavan, you know, I cannot think of one single good thing about cyanide. You please remove it from this world. Well, did you know by removing cyanide, you would also lose mangoes and cherries and plums and apples and all these fruits? Because in the seed of these fruits, there's a chemical which, if it is ingested, it turns into Cyanide. So, cyanide is good or bad? Well, if it is kept in the seed, then it is good. Can you imagine a life without mangoes? Anyways, the point is, we always think about which is better. But if I ask you, which is better right now? You raise your hand and tell me. You have to choose one. A flower or a knife? Raise your hand if you think a flower is better. Raise your hand if you think a knife is better. Well, if you're going to cook food, you go and cut those vegetables with a flower and let me see. It depends on who is asking, why they're asking, for what they're asking. So Arjuna's question has a flaw in it. He wants a, tell me Bhagavan, yes or no, which one is better, like that, right? This is better versus that is better. But Bhagavan cannot answer like that. So Bhagavan has to give him. Arjuna is also very sensitive. So Bhagavan can't tell him, Arjuna, your question is useless, or it is wrong. Arjuna will feel, he already has inferiority complex. He already thinks he can't fight. Now if Bhagavan goes and tells him your question is stupid, that will make him, that will be worse. So now Bhagavan very compassionately, very sweetly answers his question. Let us see how he answers it. This is now verse number 2. I'll chant Shri Krishna Sharanamama and everyone repeat. Okay?
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Maya Vesha Mano Ye Mam Nitya Yukta Upasate. Shraddhaya Parayopetaha Deme Yuktatamamataha. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Kanhaiya Lal Ki Jai.
Now Bhagavan says, Te me yuktatama mataha. These devotees are yuktatama. They are best united with me. So now it sounds like Bhagavan is giving an answer for choosing one. Which one does he choose? Mai aveshya mano yemam nitya yukta upasate shraddhaya paraya upetaha. Those people who keep their minds on me, who ever steadfast, sincerely, without their mind wavering from me, and with supreme, unshaking faith, those who worship me like this. And in there it is, with form is being referred to. Saguna Bhaktas who worship Bhagavan with unwavering faith, steadfast and who absorb their minds in Him, He says they are best united with me. Just hold on though. Let us see this and then we will see what He says in the next verse. So now there are three things in bhakti. In this bhakti of, when we think of Bhagavan with form, there will be three aspects of this bhakti. First is love. Second is steadfastness. Means our minds of being present and with that Bhagavan. And finally, faith. Right? Shraddha. So Bhagavan is saying the one who unites with Him, the one who comes to Him, his love is unconditional. Unconditional love. Unconditional love means whatever Bhagavan gives me, I still love Him. Have you seen some people, when Bhagavan doesn't give them what they want, they say, I don't believe in God anymore. I don't like God anymore. You have people like that. Some unfortunate event will come and a parent will lose a child, which is one of the most painful things to happen because no one should see their children die in front of them, right? But something like that happens. That person, if their love for Bhagavan is not unconditional, they will stop believing in God. I have met people like that. Have you met people like that? You would have heard people say, I don't believe in God anymore. I don't like God anymore. Because something happened in my life, or my child is not getting married, and so Bhagavan, you're not listening to me, I'm not coming to you anymore. That's conditional love. Only if you give me what I want, then I will have love for you. But that sounds like a little child. Mom and Dad, you didn't give me ice cream, so I'm not your friend anymore. That's literally what it sounds like. But they forget that Bhagavan is not our wish fulfiller. Bhagavan, I want this, and He'll keep giving it to you like a genie. He is our well-wisher. He's going to give us what is good for us, not what we want. Right? So, first condition is unconditional love for Bhagavan. That is what makes a wonderful bhakta. Then number 2 is steadfastness. Means total steadfastness means not... There are some people who have a lot of love for Bhagavan when they come to the mandir. Have you seen? They give their whole heart when they come. But as soon as they cross the gate, they've forgotten Bhagavan. Like He doesn't exist anymore. Everyone's laughing, means you know exactly what it is. That is not total steadfastness. That is like dulmul steadfastness. You know, a little... No, that's shaky. Steadfastness is no matter what I am doing, the thought of Bhagavan does not leave my mind. Not that I'm only sitting in the mandir whole day, but whatever I'm doing, the thought of Bhagavan doesn't leave my mind, right? That's second. And the third is unshaking faith. Unshaking shraddha in Bhagavan. That means number 1, God is, first of all. There's no question whether God exists or not. God is. And, well, one of the things in faith is, I know Bhagavan is Sarva Shaktiman, Sarvagnya, Sarva Vyapi. Means, I know Bhagavan is all-powerful. There's a little English bhajan that we teach to the toddlers. My God is so great, so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. Like that. That sentiment is there that my God is so powerful that there's nothing He cannot do. So when problems come, there's a bhajan like that, no? Don't tell your God how big your problems are. Tell your problems how big your God is. Like that. Means I know my Bhagavan is so powerful that there's nothing that He cannot do. Then I know He's Sarvagnya. Means He is all-knowing. Means He knows what is good for me. He knows what I need. And He knows everything that could ever happen in the past, in the present, in the future. Right? I know He knows everything. That means you don't need to come and say, Bhagavan, I have to tell you something, you know. He already knows. You come and say, Bhagavan, I know you already know. Like that. Right? Then, the third is I have faith that he is everywhere. There's nowhere in this universe where Bhagavan is not. You know, in Bal Vihar, which is the children's program, we give the little children a cookie. Everyone gets a cookie to go and eat. But the condition is you have to eat it somewhere where nobody can see you. So they all go and they run around and hide in different parts of the ashram. And then after like 2 minutes, the teacher will ring the bell and they'll all have to come back. And inevitably, there will always be one child who didn't eat the cookie. And the teacher will say, what happened? You didn't find a place where nobody was watching you? And that child says, no, but God was looking. There is nowhere where God is not. Now, the really interesting thing about us is we have these murtis, we come in front of Bhagavan, and we offer our devotion, we do puja, we do havan, and all of these things. And still, in spite of having Bhagavan in front of us, sometimes we do not believe he is there. I will give you an example. I don't know if this was a worldwide phenomenon, so I'm sure you would have heard about it here in Guyana. When I was growing up, I grew up in Ghana, the other Guyana, right? And when I would have been in, I can't remember, in like junior school, I came home from school one day, and my grandmother and my mother and my aunties were all excited. They said, come, come, come. Bhagavan, Lord Ganesha is drinking milk. Did you all hear about this over here? They said, come Bhagavan, Ganesha is drinking milk. Now I had just started to study science. And I was like, what rubbish are you talking about? What do you mean he's drinking milk? So I went to the puja room, the mandir, at home, and I watched my grandmother hold the spoon in front of the murti and the milk disappeared. You know, like someone drinking from a straw, it disappeared like that. And I was like, no, this murti must have a hole, it must be absorbing the milk. Give it to me. So I took a spoon of milk and I held it to a glass frame with Bhagavan Ganesh. And you know, in front of my eyes, that milk disappeared when I held it to his trunk. And then I gone and put it at his foot and nothing happened. I mean, I was a science student. But the point of this is, you know, even when Bhagavan is right there in front of us, we say Bhagavan is there, we don't actually believe it all the time. Then what more to believe that he is everywhere in this universe? So how much faith is required for us to actually feel like there is nowhere where Bhagavan is not, right? This is the kind of faith Bhagavan says, when you have this kind of love, when you have this kind of steadfastness, and when you have this kind of faith, that bhakta, that devotee comes to me. This is what he is saying. Now what about the other ones? They don't go to Bhagavan? If you said, now those who think Bhagavan with form is greater, they'll be like, I told you, you see, Bhagavan with form is better. All those people who think of God without form, waste of time only. But Bhagavan is not yet done. So let us see now what he has to say about those other ones. Let us chant.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna
Radha Lal ki jai. Now Bhagavan says tu, but hold on, I'm not done yet. Ye aksharam anirdeshyam avyaktam paryupasate. Those who meditate on or worship the other aspect of Bhagavan, which is formless. And he describes it with words from the Upanishads. Aksharam. Aksharam means imperishable. It will never perish. It will never get destroyed. It will. Chapter 2 we saw, no? Weapons cannot cut it, and fire cannot burn it, and water cannot wet it. It is imperishable because it is beyond everything that is perishable. Then anirdeshyam. There's no way to define it. You know, if you're going to Mary Airport to pick somebody that you've never met before, you will ask the person who is sending you, well, what does this person look like? First of all, are they a male or female that I'm picking up? Then are they tall or short? Then what will they be wearing? You'll ask things about what is their name, right? But this nirguna aspect of Bhagavan is indefinable. There is no way to define it because it has no form. What will you say about something that is formless? So Bhagavan says it is indefinable. And it is avyaktam. Avyaktam means unmanifest. Something that is manifest is something that we can see or taste or smell or hear or touch. If you cannot see it or smell it or taste it or hear it or touch it, what will it look like? Can you conceptualize anything beyond the five senses? We see this entire world, but actually the only way we interact with the world is because of these five senses. So if something has no touch, no taste, no form like sight, no smell and no sound, we cannot perceive it. It is unmanifest to us. So this thing is something we cannot see, hear, taste, smell or touch, right? One teacher was telling something in class to his students, and the student brought up the topic of God. And this teacher was an atheist. So he said, no, I don't believe in God. So that student said, but why? Because he was a bhakta. This teacher said, because if I cannot smell it, or taste it, or hear it, or touch it, or hear it, did I get it? Smell, taste, touch, hear, see. If I cannot see, taste, touch, smell, or hear it, it doesn't exist. Can you hear God? No. Can you touch God? No. Can you smell God? No. Like that, he went. So that student said, you know, professor, I cannot see your mind. I cannot taste your mind. I cannot smell your mind. I cannot touch your mind. I cannot hear your mind. That means you don't have a mind. Just because you can't see, smell, taste, hear, or touch something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just unmanifests to us, right? Then this is sarvatragam, all pervading. You know, if you take ice has a form, and it can fit in my hand. When that ice melts, now it will go beyond my hand, isn't it? It'll be more pervasive. If that water now turns into water vapor, well, that will take even more space, right? So the more formless it becomes, the more pervasive it becomes. The more space it fills up, right? This nirguna form of Bhagavan is formless. It is literally all-pervading. There's nowhere it can go. It is beyond space also, right? Beyond space, but that is unthinkable. Bhagavan says, yes, I am achintyam. I'm also unthinkable, he says, right? Unthinkable because we cannot perceive or conceptualize this nirguna Brahman. Then he says he's immovable. If something is already everywhere, where will it go? See, if my hand is here, then I can make it go here because it's not there. But if my hand is here, can I say to my hand to go here? It's already there. It can't go where it already is. So if this if Bhagavan is already everywhere, where will he go? He can't go anywhere. So he's immovable, like that. Then he also says he's without modification. Means sometimes there's something that's not moving, but it is changing inside. Have you seen, you leave a pot of milk outside and you forget about it. Nice fresh cow milk that you got, and then you forget about it. Has that milk gone anywhere when you come back? But something has happened, and now no one will dare to drink it 3 days later if it is sitting outside like that, right? So it modified even though it didn't move anywhere. But this formless aspect of the Lord is, no modification is possible also in it. And it is eternal. So like this, it cannot be indicated. In fact, in the Upanishads, the word used to describe it is neti neti. It is not this, it is not that. It is not anything you can think about, imagine in your possible conception. So then he says now, what are the qualities of somebody who worships or meditates on Bhagavan like this? That person is samniyamya indriya gramam. That person has withdrawn all their senses and their mind. See, to see Bhagavan with form, you have to look outside at the world to see him, isn't it? Tulsidas says, Siya Rama Maya Sabajagajani. This whole universe is Sita and Ram. So Karau Pranam Jori Juga Pani. How are you going to see Sita and Ram everywhere if your eyes are closed? So the bhakta opens their eyes and they send their senses out in the world to see Bhagavan. But if you're talking about something that is formless, that is not perceived by the senses, then the senses have to be withdrawn. They have to come inside. Withdrawing our senses requires us to become a master of them. Simple thing, like nowadays scrolling is the biggest problem people are facing. Have you seen? You take your phone and you start to watch videos, and it's one video after the next, and you cannot put the phone down. Well, your mind, withdrawing the senses means, mind, enough. And as soon as you say enough, you can close that thing and put it down. How many people have that? Before we used to say children and teenagers have that problem, but now everybody has that problem. Correct or wrong? Everybody is going through that problem nowadays, right? We cannot withdraw our senses when we tell our senses, okay, enough, stop now. The one who is capable of meditating on the formless aspect of the Lord has to be able to withdraw their senses. You know, the problem with the senses going out is that the mind also goes with it. Like if somebody came here and decided to walk across the room and go to the back, is it not that everyone will turn and look at them? Now when they're walking, is it not that you will not be hearing what I am saying? Because your mind has also gone, not just your eyes. You know, when our Swami Chinmayananda was studying with Swami Tapovanam, our Param Puja Gurudev Swami Tapovanam, one day, they were in the Himalayas. One day, a cat crossed behind Swami Tapovanam as he was teaching. And Swami Chinmayananda's eyes went and followed the cat. Well, Swami Tapovanam cancelled class for 2 days. Because you're supposed to be here. And if your senses go somewhere, then you're not here. Now, I mean, if our Swamiji had done that with us, we wouldn't have studied anything in our course, right? But the point is the capacity to withdraw the senses, right? Then, sarvatra samabuddhayaha. This person is able to keep their intellect balanced, equipoised. That means, you know, when our mind gets disturbed is when I want something and I didn't get it. Or I didn't get something and I got it. Like you go for satsang and they come and they share prasad. And sometimes they share bhojan and sometimes they share drinks. Right? Now you want the grape drink and you're waiting. But by the time they reach you, it's only the pink one remaining. Well, now you got something undesirable. Now the mind thinks, next time I should sit in the back, because by the time they reach the front, then everything I like is gone. Now, the mind gets disturbed when it doesn't get what it likes, right? Then when it doesn't get what it likes, or when it gets what it doesn't like, both times the mind gets disturbed. Someone who is able to keep their mind balanced, irrespective of what comes to them, is someone who has the capacity to now meditate on this formless aspect of Bhagavan. You just think about your day and think about how many things in the day disturb our mind. Little things. You just start, I woke up my husband and he didn't wake up, and I had to come back and I had to wake him up again. One auntie is asking the next auntie, what is it? Do you wake up grumpy? Right? She asked, do you wake up grumpy? And she said, no, I let him sleep. From the time we wake up, the people around us, the circumstances around us, little traffic will come on the road and our mind will get irritated, right? The amount of things that are there to disturb our mind in this world are endless. The capacity to be able to keep a balanced mind in spite of everything is a real special thing. Okay? Bhagavan says, Te prapnuvanti mameva. Those people completely reach me. They become one with me. Right? Oh, and there's one more quality. Sarva bhuta hiterataha. They are always reveling in the welfare of other beings. They always want to see the welfare of other beings. Well, that we have a long way to go for that, because people are the opposite usually. One man found a lamp, a genie lamp, and he rubbed it and the genie came out. And the genie said, unfortunately, I cannot give you any wishes. He said, why? Because I haven't finished genie school yet. No, but you must have learned something. I mean, who finds a lamp and gets a genie and the genie can't give them anything? So he says, okay, what is the problem? He said, first of all, I can only give you one wish. Okay, that's okay, I'll take one wish. He said, no. But whatever I give you, I will give your neighbor double. So whatever you wish for, your neighbor will get double of that. So now he's thinking, well, if I wish for $1 million, my neighbor will get 2. If I wish for youth, my neighbor will get twice the youth. If I wish for anything, my neighbor will be better off than... Who likes that? So you know what he wished for? He thought. And he said, you know what? Take one of my eyes. You see? The welfare of other beings is not something that comes naturally to us. It is something we have to develop. Now, I'm not saying you're going to do that, but it is not something that comes naturally to us. I heard a story of somebody. There was a plane going from a long flight, like a 15-hour flight, going from somewhere to Hong Kong, I think, right? And on that flight, the compartment where they keep animals, the heating unit cut off. So over there was a dog. True story, huh? And that dog would have frozen to death by the time the flight landed. So now the pilot had to, this airline company had to make a decision to land the flight early to take the dog and save his life, or to keep flying and let the dog die. If they kept flying, the dog would die and everyone else would reach on time. If they landed, now you know when you don't get people to their destination on time, you have to compensate them, and then there's logistics of airlines and so many other complications. Well, they made the decision to land and save the dog. And people will say, well, that's thinking about the welfare of other beings. But on that same flight, they were coming around and asking, would you like chicken or beef? So, one type of being is more important than another type of being. How is that welfare of all beings? Bhagavan is saying, wherever you are, however you are, whoever you are, this capacity has to slowly start to be developed in our heart, where we think about the welfare of not just ourselves and our family, but all beings. Okay? You know, one of the best ways to start, our Sanatana Dharma prayers are so wonderful. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha. May everybody be happy. Not all people, all beings be happy. We just have to literally sit there and chant this prayer and feel in our mind that we want all beings in this universe to be happy. And that has the power to start to bring into our heart sensitivity and empathy for beings. So simple. What do you do? 30 seconds you sit down and you say a prayer, but you say it with full intensity and it transforms your life. So I think it's so cool how these things work. Anyways, so Bhagavan says, in short, see, Saguna, people who have devotion for Lord Bhagavan with form, if they have unconditional love, if they have unwavering faith, and if they have steadfastness, then they reach him. Then, those who are nirguna upasakas, who think of Bhagavan without form, well, if they have equipoise of mind, means they can control their buddhi, it doesn't get disturbed, and if they can withdraw their senses, and if they consider the welfare of all beings, well, they become one with me. So really what he is saying is, it doesn't matter which form of Bhagavan you choose, which aspect of Bhagavan you choose. What matters is how you express your devotion for that form of the Lord. So one is not better than the other. What is better for us is the one that comes more naturally, the one with which our mind can be more absorbed. Now see, from the point of view of knowledge, who is better? Somebody who says Bhagavan with form is better and Bhagavan without form is lesser? Or someone who says, no, they both exist and they're both important? Well, someone who says both, isn't it? So, understanding that both are important, but having love for one is the most ideal situation. Okay, enough on that. Let us now see. You know, this topic comes up because people hear things like meditation is the best thing to do. You know? So everyone thinks I need to go and worship the formless aspect of God. So Bhagavan gives a warning now in the next verse. Let us see.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Shri Krishna Kanhaiya Lal Ki Jai. Okay, let me ask you all a question. Which is easier? Sitting in front of Bhagavan and offering flowers, offering Naivedyam, which will become prasad, putting chandan, putting mala, bathing Bhagavan, changing his clothes. That is option one. Option two, sit here, close your eyes. Don't think of anything. And if your mind thinks of something, tell it to stop and bring it back to think about nothing. Which is easier? Huh? The first one is easier, isn't it? Because our mind naturally goes outside already. So now the mind is going, instead of going to the world, it is going to see Bhagavan. Right? But the other one, we have to train the mind to go inside. It is not used to going inside. Right? So Bhagavan says, Kleshaha adhikataraha tesham avyakta sakta chetasam. Those people who want to worship Bhagavan without form, nirguna Bhagavan, the difficulty is much more for them. He doesn't say that is difficult. He said that is more difficult. Means both will have their own difficulties, but trying to worship Bhagavan without form is much more difficult than trying to worship Bhagavan with form. But that doesn't mean nobody is fit for nirguna upasana. He says, for somebody who considers themselves to be this body, it is very difficult to think about Bhagavan without form. Because our view of the world is dependent on our view of ourselves. One philosopher very nicely said, if human beings were cows, they would think God had horns. Means we see the world, including God, in our own image. Right? So if I think of myself as having form, how will I think of Bhagavan without form? It will be very difficult. So Bhagavan says, those who have this strong individual identification, thinking they're this body, thinking that, they have these relationships and thinking that these things belong to them, and those people, it is very hard. So that means you have a choice to choose the easier one, isn't it? So lovingly Bhagavan describes like that. For somebody to have the capacity to sit and withdraw their mind, it requires so much detachment from this world. I'll give you an example. Our Swami Tapovanam, same Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda's teacher, he had royalty coming to him, like the king and queen of Nepal would come to him. And they would say, why don't we build you an ashram? Why are you living here in this hut this thatched hut, and it's so cold up here and you have to walk all the way to the freezing Ganga to take a bath? And he said to them, look, you see this cloth, this second piece of cloth that I have? You see how I so carefully picked up the stone and put it on the cloth so it wouldn't fly away? Imagine if I had more things to think about. How would I to take care of? How would I think about God? Who is thinking like that? So that kind of total detachment from the world is what allows somebody to go inside very easily. But Bhagavan is saying, if you don't have that, no worry. Right where you are, you see me everywhere and you love me like that. But you love me unconditionally. You have unwavering faith for me. And you're steadfast in your devotion. So when you leave this mandir, your love for me doesn't finish until you come back. Right? Like that, now Bhagavan is going to switch into describing the practices that one can do to reach him by seeing him with form. He puts on pause now this formless business, and he says, okay, now let us talk about worshipping me with form. And in some most beautiful verses coming up, he's going to say, this is what you can do. Then Arjuna might be looking at him like, Bhagavan, really? Then he'll say, no, if you can't do this, then you do this. If you can't do this, then you do this. If you can't do this also, don't worry, you do this. He gives him so many options. If you can't do this much, you do this, don't worry. If you can't do this much, you do this much. So that is what we will be seeing tomorrow at Better Success Mandir. We'll be starting at 6:30 p.m. Is that close to here? Oh, okay, not too close, not too far. Okay, all right. Well, if anyone, and without traffic also, huh? If anyone would like to come, you're very welcome to join us. We will be continuing this chapter there. It will also be on Facebook Live, but Facebook Live is not reliable at all, especially the past few days here. In Essequibo, is it like, I don't know, maybe just my phone. But there's no comparison between being in satsang in person and watching it online, right? But if you're able to come, please do come. It will be lovely to see you all again. A very special thank you to Pandit Sugrim. A very special thank you also to Rameshji for organizing, and to all the members of this wonderful mandir. Pandit Ravan also, thank you. It's been so lovely being here. I have a few announcements. Let me share very quickly. One is, we have a bookmark for everybody that has been printed specially for this occasion. We'll come around and give it. You can remember that you were part of this 108 nights of Bhagavad Gita. You can keep it in a book. And one day, if people are still reading books and you happen to open it, then you will see that bookmark. We also have books for sale. These are Chinmay Mission publications. There's books for children. Same stories from our Puranas, but with pictures for children to read and let their mind be absorbed by it. Younger children, older children. For the younger kids, the books have such few words and lots of pictures, beautiful messages. And then for adults, there are little books like Why Serve and The Purpose of Prayer. And then there's books like Sadhana Panchakam. What practices 40 different practices that we can do in our pursuit of happiness. Like that, countless books are there. Please see. If it is of your interest, you can get whatever you want. Finally, Chinmay Mission is a teaching organization. And so they specialize in all kinds of teaching. One of the things that they do is they train individuals to become teachers. So there is a 2-year course. It is called the Vedanta course. And you go and you stay in an ashram, Gurukul style, for the full 2 years, with no holidays, no weekends, no breaks, nothing. And you wake up in the morning before 5:30, because 5:30 is the first class. And you have class all day, every single day, until at least 8 p.m., until around this time. And you get homework also in between that you have to do. And you have to study, and you get tests and all of that. And then you really develop an understanding of Sanatana Dharma in a fundamental way. It changes the way you think, it changes the way you see the world, and it is the best 2 years that a person who is interested in this kind of thing will have. The qualifications are, the person has to be under 30, unmarried, and have a university degree. And if you qualify, then you can go to the course in Trinidad with Swami Prakashananda himself teaching all of the classes, and it starts on October 2nd. So the application is open, registration is open, you can go and apply, and all the information is online. You can also speak to one of us if you want more information. If you know anybody who would be interested in this kind of thing, please tell them also. Okay? And finally, I heard that it is somebody's birthday today. I don't know who, Can you wave? Oh, happy birthday, sweetheart. I'll pass over back to our MC. Yeah? Yes, Panditji. How old are you?
How old are you, baby?
9. Wow.
प्रेम बोलो श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जय। प्रेम बोलो श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जय। Sleeping, something around. On behalf of myself and all the members of the body, I have to say, no, we have no complaint, we have no complaint, no comment, but we just have a compliment for you. You have done it. Yes, you have done well. It's a book that I often read, and every morning I would even read a few portions from it because I have one in my arsenal here, in my here. I have one right here, and I have one in my home. So wherever I turn, I have Bhagavad Gita, and I also have a Ramayana. And this movement became mine and the most the very first 100 people and people. So when I have that one, that is very important. People like so that's the very important Bhagavad Gita. So both Sanskrit and English yes, I have that. In fact, I got it from my elder brother in the street right now. Before starting reading that book in Guyana, approximately about 45 stuff. So that's just when I knew about this movement and about that one. So it's not like yesterday something, but yeah.
Swami Chinmayananda actually came to Guyana in 1965, 66, 67. Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Okay, Christian teachings is very clear. Like I picked one of the book up here and I said I want this book, and when I opened it, I see. I used to forget why I just tell them around here. I think what you have said, some of the account is wonderful, fantastic, splendid. But late in October, November, that was the chapter that we did. I did it this way. As one woman told me, he said, she only hears Bhagavad Gita when there's a death. I said, no, well, you have to come to this morning, every Sunday morning, and Wednesday night you will hear Bhagavad Gita. And mine as well. Whichever book takes you to something from, that's what I will do. Yes, as I cite that book, it says, God exists in everyone. God exists in everyone. But you can't see God just like if you go to a mirror and it's dusty, you won't see your face. So if your mind is clouded, what's the matter? Isn't that what you want to do? That's what you want to do. I think so. And that's how I mean. Right, and I love books. And I told her if my brother, if I want that very book. Good. Yes, Christian teachings are very great and fantastic. I read of the 18th Quran, I think I read a few of the and I love that. You know, I can recall also remember when I read Srimad Bhagavatam at chapter 9, that when the battle were about to begin, Duryodhana on the Kaurava side and Arjuna on the Pandava side, both of them were abhorred with Bhagavad Gita alike. Because Krishna called both of them and said to them, Arjuna, I want you to go into this battlefield and bring me one last person. And Duryodhana, I want you to go into this battlefield and bring me one good person. And they both went. After a few hours, they both came back to the same party. So he tells Duryodhana first. He said, Duryodhana, come. Have you found anybody good on this battlefield? He said, no. He said, all those people ready to give their life for you. Have you swear anybody there? He said, no. He said, okay, but Duryodhana, go back to your army. He said, You going home? You have problem home? Come collect something before you go. Come collect something. Yes. So he says, you have to see any bad parts? He said, no. No one is going to be hard to master. And I think all the female folks sitting here tonight, look at one thing on her and tell me what you see. Look at her and look at her and look at her again. And as she has said, if we were to think of her, if we were at home, we would have all said, God, we are on our way. But look at her and tell me one thing what you think about her. What you see on her side. Yes, that's one. Look at her garment. How many times have I talked to you about garment? How many times? What do we have here now? When Pastor Gavin will know this. Some of the priests on the people are telling you, you only can wear white when the husband there. You want it? What the dog? I'm not going to get that. I like to make this stuff. Good. You see for yourself? You all see it? You all see it? You all understand what that signifies, that white I often tell you about it? Good. So let's just get in garden. And especially when you are doing the funeral. Stop following others and wearing this black and this green and this blue and this pink and this dark shirt and this backless and this armless and this strapless. Get dressed properly. Look at it. Yes, I can go on and on, you know, and another little story. I might want to buy a talking park. So you got the story that you are. So you have a park that can talk, the man says yes. So you'll give me the park and invention. Put the park in the stage. The man waited an entire week for the park to say a word. So he went back to the shop and said, man, you know that park didn't say a word. He said, what park like the mirror? Why a mirror carry? That park stop me like to look at the sun. So he purchased a mirror, carried the put it in the cave. Another week passed, and the parrot didn't say a word. So the man went back again. Told the capona, when he purchased the parrot, he said, the parrot hasn't said a word as yet. He said, if you buy a string for the parrot, they like to swing. So he purchased the string and carried for the parrot to the cave. Another week passed, the parrot didn't say a word. So he went back to the man. He said, what happened now? He said, the parrot dead. He said, the parrot said a single word before he died. He said, yes. He said, they sell food at the store where I purchased the mirror and drink. Then what happened to him? Parrot doesn't want mirror, the parrot doesn't want drink, the parrot doesn't want food. And that this is what we are lost with. This material body of the age. We decorate it too much. We forget about the soul. We think of that soul. We forget about the soul. We all are the parrot. And the man, for that part of the parrot. We think about the decorations of the case and the soul. We think about the case and not the soul. And you have to pray, you have to hard to got it, to get it, to have it. A great opportunity tonight. Listening to this, having it so far. Yes, it is our love to you. And I'm very happy. Why I'm happy? How many things I think that I know tonight, I will speak to them. Very good. You are all very good. Give her that. Okay, you have a party by them and then you're not getting it.
When you're done, then we'll do Arti. Right? That's the only. Yeah. After.
Come sit. Come and
एक
safely say that we are in Sangati company here tonight, and Bahinji, my dear sister, taught us such a beautiful kata here tonight. Remember, as I said, we are all empty vessels, and we are seeking divine knowledge. And I think that we need some more, and I do hope that if there is any time available and any spot available, Chinto or Pandit, we can host you next night. I want to say thank you, Dhanyavad, to you and the team for gracing this Mandir, Rajmana Scheme Vishnu Mandir, and to spread that knowledge with us, and to be, to be so simple, yet you are bringing out the teaching in such a simple way. And I guess all of us here have learned something. And I want to encourage you to put that into practice, because in this age of time, in this Kali Yuga, it's not easy. It's not an easy task to sit down and to listen to spiritual knowledge. But I want to tell you that I know that you have learned a lot of, what must I say, but you have learned a lot of means and ways that you can get closer to Bhagwan. And Krishna is the last avatar of God. And in this age of Kali, he came to prepare mankind, because he knows we are entering this dark age. But it's one of the easiest way also to get salvation. And if you can only chant his name. Ramayana tells us, Binu Satasanka Vivekano, Ram Kripa Sarvan Soi. Keeping good company, keeping wise company can help you through this life. So devotees, I don't want to bore you much. Once again, I want to say Sitaram or heartfelt thank you, and hope and pray that we can see you another night, or we can see you a great lot at this Mandir, so we can be able to, as we all, as I said, are empty vessels, and we can have something in our vessel, so we can be able to elevate our soul. So when that day comes for us, we all will be prepared to go back to Krishna. Once again, Sitaram, do have a happy and enjoyable journey, and stay safe. As I was sitting, I was telling myself, as the manager for radio, and use the right person, I should have in that radio station. But let me hope and pray next visit, we're going to host you there. Because the thousands of listeners, while we are here, thousands of people listen. And we are meeting all kind of people via radio. The other denomination also listen. So they will also learn something. And I want to say something, sometimes I go to places and I hear something, I talk to Pandit. Some people don't preach, they criticize. But what you did, you preach. You bring the good word of Bhagwan Krishna. You taught us how we can be able to help ourselves as souls in this age of Kali. We are giving this opportunity, and people like you are giving us by educating us what we can do, how we can do, where we can do, and what we can do. So once again, Sitaram, thank you very much to you and the team, and may Bhagwan Krishna continue to bless you. Thank you.
Just before we do Aarti, I forgot to mention one thing. On May 3rd, which is a Saturday, we will be having the grand finale of this 108 nights of Bhagavad Gita at the Gandhi Youth Cricket Ground in Georgetown. I know it's over a river and then over another river with a bridge, and there's traffic on that side of the world and all of that. But if some of you are able to make it, it will be really wonderful, because if all the mandirs that participated can have members join, we can really celebrate this momentous occasion together. So you're all invited. May 3rd, Saturday, May 3rd, 5 to 6:30 p.m. at the Gandhi Youth Cricket Ground in Georgetown. So if you have relatives, you can stay across. If you are able to, you can come back. And our ashram, Chinmay Mission now has an ashram in Monrepo also, a small house. We'll make space for anyone who needs to stay the night. So if you would like to come and you don't have somewhere to stay after, come to the ashram. We'll figure it out. Okay? Okay, let's stand for Aarti, please.
जय भगवद गीते मैया जय भगवद गीते हरिया कमल विहारी हरिया कमल विहारी सुंदर सुपुनीते ओम जय भगवद गीते कर्म सुमर्म प्रकाशी कामा सतिहरा
मय कामा सतिहरा
तत्त्वज्ञान विकासिनी
तत्त्वज्ञान विकासिनी
विद्या ब्रह्मपरा
ॐ जय भगवद्गीते
निश्चल भक्ति विदायिनी निर्मल मलहारी
मय निर्मल मलहारी
शरण रहस्य प्रदायिनी
शरण रहस्य प्रदायिनी
सब विधि सुखकारी ओम जय भगवती राग द्वेष विदारिणी कारिणी बोध सदा
मय कारिणि बोध सदा
भवभयहारिणी तारिणी
भवभयहारिणि तारिणि
परमानन्द प्रदा
ॐ जय भगवद्गीते
आसुर भाव विनाशिनी नाशिनी तमरजनी
मय नाशिनि तमरजनी
दैवी सद्गुणदायिनी
दैवी सद्गुणदायिनि
हरिरसिका सजनी ओम जय भगवती समता त्याग सिखावनी हरिमुख की वाणी
मय हरिमुख की वाणी
सकल शास्त्र की स्वामिनी
सकल शास्त्र की स्वामिनि
श्रुतियों की रानी ओम जय भगवती दया सुधा बरसावन मातु कृपा की जय
मय मातु कृपा की जय
हरिपद प्रेम दान कर
हरिपद प्रेम दान कर
अपनो कर लीजे जय भगवती मैया जय भगवती हरिया कमल विहारी हरिया कमल विहारी सुंदर सुपुनीते ओम जय भगवती ओम जय भगवती ओम जय भगवती मंगलम
भगवान् विष्णु मङ्गलं गरुडध्वजः मङ्गलं पुण्डरीकाक्षं मङ्गलायतनो हरिः त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव
त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव ॐ मुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ बोलिए वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की
जय
श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की
जय
श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की
जय
हर हर नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव हरि ओम तत्सत